amazing weekend, just nugget after nugget after nugget. I'm having a blast. You guys having fun? Yeah. Woo! So first off, I want to say thank you to God for today, Diane Lampy, Jane and Andy Albright for tomorrow, and my wife Kate for last night. Hey, you heard the preacher. My name is Mike Morice. I'm born and raised suburbs of Chicago. Had a degree in marketing from Loyola, former professional volleyball athlete. And before I came to the Alliance, I was doing pharmaceutical sales, building a business for another guy all across the country. And you ever feel like you've been in that the hamster wheel in life? Anyone? Where you just felt like you were stuck in that same spot? Well, I got introduced to this business from my aunt. Some of you guys may know her, Diane Lampy. And got my license, and I started working part-time on the side, and I started making more money part-time than I was full-time, and then I fell in love with the culture and the people, and I switched out, and I've been building this business across the country. And you know what, actually, before we kind of start this, there's one more thing I needed to do. I needed to get one more in. Yes, yes, yes. Knock, knock, knock. Ding dong. Knock, knock, knock.
Hello?
Hey, I'm Mike. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. Hey, Steven, I've been trying to get a hold of you, your 708 number, and I know you get a ton of these random phone calls all the time. You know, I'm the same way. I never answer any of those, right?
Right.
So that's why I came on by. It's about the cash benefit insurance programs for your age. I just need a few minutes to sit down. Is that all right?
Okay, yeah.
Perfect. Awesome.
All right.
All right, cool. They don't work out like that every single time. It's great when they do, though. But so today, guys, I'm going to talk to you about how to storm the gates and break barriers to win the sale. So what does that mean? I'm going to show you how to get in more doors. Make some more sales. So first thing I'm going to talk to you about is mindset, which you've heard a lot this weekend. Kind of a coincidence, you keep hearing it on stage. It's probably pretty important. But I like to think of it as almost two words, Diane Lampy. What is your mind set on? You know, do you have the negative or the positive that's in your head when you're out in the field? I heard this from Alex Abian a while ago, and it really stuck with me. Anything that you do, any task that you perform, if you do it with a negative mindset or a positive mindset, what results do you think are going to be better? When you're positive. And a positive idea cannot stay in your mind at the same time that a negative idea is. So if you're spending time listening to yourself, talking to yourself, putting the positive thoughts in your head, it puts less time for that negativity to creep in. So, you know, we all know the story of David and Goliath, right? So when David went out to face Goliath, do you think when David took a look at Goliath that he was too big to hit or he was too big to miss? Like, how do you think about your day when you're going out in the field? What are you doing in between appointments?
Get your mind right.
Exactly. Windshield time. The average car owner drives 500 to 1,000 hours from place to place every single year. What are you filling up that time with? You know, I do audios. I listen to positive audios. I listen to Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, Mark Aceta, Andy Albright. So I'm filling my head with this positivity because that positive thought is going to affect my attitude, and my attitude is going to affect my behavior at that next door. So when I'm funneling these positive thoughts into my head, I'm motivating myself. But motivation can get you going, but habits get you there. So every single day, and I learned this about, I think it's been about 7 months ago, and it's completely changed my life. I had Mark Aceta jump on one of my team calls before A View from the Edge, and I asked him, I said, hey, what makes that millionaire man? And he said, hey, the first thing is 30 minutes of reading every single day, 30 minutes of audio every single day, and attend all events. And I had to do a neck up from a checkup because I was thinking about it. I was like, am I really reading every single day? I was thinking, Sundays, maybe, sometimes I wasn't. And maybe Saturday or two, I just wouldn't do it. So I took a look at myself in the mirror, and I was like, you know what? I need to do this every single day. So since that call, I've done 30 minutes of a book in my hand, reading every single day, 30 minutes of audio every single day. Didn't matter if it was my birthday, didn't matter if there was a party, didn't matter if it was a holiday, whatever it was, didn't matter if I was on vacation, Alaska, anywhere I was, before my head hit that pillow that night, I got my 30 minutes in. So what that's really done for me, it's really flipped that switch. So it stopped that bookmark from the weekend. So Saturday, put that bookmark in and then not pick it up until Monday. It just didn't turn that switch off for me. So I continue to have that growth just happening in my head. And as I'm going out throughout my day and I'm learning new things, learning new skills, it gives me more ideas to talk to my team about. And we always talk about when you're talking with your team or you're training on something, if you're telling it to one person on your team, you're more likely going to keep telling it to other guys on your team. And instead of me just learning it once, I'm learning it 10 times because I've had to say it over and over and over again. So when I'm going out in the field, we all get those rough days, right? We've all talked about this. I get days where I want to take this thing and I just want to boot it across the highway. But I never bring in whatever happened at that last appointment into my next appointment. So if I get that door slammed on me, or I get someone to tell me, like, not interested, or if I get someone to tell me to go multiply myself. It's Sunday. I shake it off. So we all know about IULs, FIA annuities, right? We have an index account, right? Goes up, stays the same, goes up, stays the same. I keep that in my head with my positive mindset. So what does that mean? Things are going good, positivity goes up. Things go bad, I stay positive. Things are going good, positivity goes up. Things going bad, I stay positive. I keep an index account in my head on my positive attitude, appointment to appointment to appointment. Awesome. So every door that I go to, I think about this before I approach it. Every sale that I've ever made in the home while sitting down with someone has started with me walking through a doorway. So when I go to that door, whether it's a door knock or an appointment, I think, why not them? Why not me? Why not now? Why not you? Let's go. Let's go. So body language. I'm gonna drop some body language on you guys today, which body language, it's very, very important. It's important to read, and it's also very important to express in a positive manner. Okay. So as I'm pulling up to that house, I have it in my head that I'm already getting into that door. I already act as if. I act as if that appointment's already set up, that a person is already ready to sign. So you kind of saw my walk to the door, right? So when I get out of that car, big smile, and I'm waving to that house. We've all seen it on the videos, right? Waving to that house, big smile. I don't even know who I'm smiling or waving to. I feel a little crazy sometimes when I do it, but you just do it. And if someone sees you, then it's like, that's the important thing, because then they're like, oh man, he saw me, right? So as I'm going to that door, you guys heard me, I do the yes, 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 yes. So what that does, I'm manifesting yeses. I'm creating a pattern in my mind to get those yeses from that person at that door. So when I get up to that door, you kind of saw a little bit on the side over here, I do, the knock, 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 all that. I got the big smile, because smiles are the most contagious thing, right? You ever see someone with, a resting face, and you get the eye contact, but you crack that smile? It's the best way to crack it, because 9 out of 10 times, they're going to smile right back at you. So when I'm when I get to that door and I ring that bell, there's a couple things. I'm going to start from my feet and go up. And I read this in a book, a definitive book of body language. Grab it, great read. But I put my feet a little bit wider than shoulder width, and I point my toes out. And the reason I do this, and if you do this later on today or this weekend, it might be funny. You might see some people in the hallway just like all standing weird. But when you put your feet out like this and you have a wider stance, first, you can't be pushed around that much. You feel more planted. You feel more confident. It's a weird, like, physical thing, but when you do that, it's just like, if anything's coming at you, like, you're ready to get after it. So I don't care what excuse, what objection, what reason why they don't want to sit down is coming at me. Like, I'm able to overcome it. Because if God is with me, who can be against me, right? So feet are planted, you feel more confident. Another thing I do, shoulders back, chest out, just wide open. Like I said, ready for anything, but my hands, you see where my hands are at? You can see my palms, right? I don't put my hands in my pockets. If you were home and someone came and knocked on your door and they had their hands in their pockets, what would you think? I wouldn't open the door. I wouldn't. Would you? So these are the little things that I think about as I'm doing those door knocks. So a lot of questions that I get at the door is, what is it? Anyone have that one before at the door? I'll show you. It's a very easy one. I'll show you. Who's ever been to a restaurant where you go in? We all been to restaurants. You go in and go to the host. Hey, can I get a table for two? They have the menu. They say, oh yeah, follow me. They come back and what do they do to show you the table? They open up their arm. What are you you're gonna follow that direction. So if you ever get someone at the door that just says, hey, I don't let anyone in my house. Hey, no problem. You got a beautiful patio out here. Why don't we sit down in here? Right here. Is that fine? I bring a camping chair with me in my car. Straight up. Like, it's a folding camping chair. It has a handle. It has a tray on the side, a director's chair, because I'm about to run this thing. So you get to a door, whether it's an appointment you set up or just a door knock and just they're not home. One thing I like to do is I take these sticky notes. You guys use these before? Big sale going on these this weekend. You should jump on it. They're selling them in bulk. These are really, really, really important. Very helpful. So when I get to a door, if someone doesn't answer, I do all the knocks, everything. Knock on the window, knock on the door. I stay away from those ring bells. I have one at my house for a good reason. Because if you do that ring bell, they could be in like another part of the house and just see you and not come to it. We actually recruit a lot of those guys, though, that come to our house and knock. But anyway, so these sticky notes, what I do, no answers, nothing. I take my time writing this thing out because sometimes people will come out to their door even after I door knock it after a couple minutes. So I give them a little bit of time to think about it. So when I'm at the door, like I'm filling this thing out, basic info, I start from the bottom because sometimes people will answer the door as I'm filling this out. Start from the bottom, put my name, phone number. I'll do final attempt every time. ID number, I do cash benefit INS. The time, date, all of it. So I'll put that sticky note right there. And what will happen is I'll leave and I will get phone calls. I never answer them. I never answer those because when I get a phone call, I can look it up in my calendar and see exactly who's calling me. And if it was an appointment I just had or a lead, like I know they're home. I don't need to answer it and try to set up an appointment. I will get voicemails from people that I've left sticky notes on that they're telling me when they're home the next couple days. I have appointments getting set up for me when I'm not even trying to set up appointments. It's such a little thing that worked. I got that from Megan Wood a while ago, so thank you, Megan, because that's helped me turn my car around and get in the home, sit down with people. And they're like on their porch, holding the sticky note, and I go right up to them and I do the same thing over and over, and I sit down with them. So let's get into being efficient with the schedule. So I'm very, very efficient with my day. So one of my favorite authors and speakers, Brian Tracy, he had this idea called the stopwatch idea, where he was going to talk at a convention for a big company, and anytime he did a talk, he always asked the company owner, like, hey, what are your feelings for business going into this next year? And the owner was like, hey, we're in a recession, we're going to have 30% down in our sales. And then Brian goes, well, what if you had your sales reps, instead of only spending 90 minutes a day working, what if you just had them work for 3 hours? And then that would increase your sales. And the owner was like, no, like, my sales reps, they're all professional. They've got an average of 11 years of experience. They work all day long. They're working as much as they can. And Brian was like, well, let me introduce this idea at the talk, and we'll give everyone stopwatches. So what they did with the stopwatch is they took the stopwatch for 30 days. What the sales reps did, when they stepped into an appointment in front of a customer, they clicked it on. When they stepped out of the appointment, they clicked it off. So they tracked it. He had all 350 reps track it for 30 days. 30 days go by, the owner calls Brian Tracy back up and says, hey, our reps, the last 30 days, they did that. They came back, they reported their numbers. The average time that the reps spent in the home in front of customers, 90 minutes and 42 seconds. What are you doing in the field? How are you spending that time in between appointments? Are you getting in front of clients as much as possible? I have an admin. I don't really call into the carriers. I love the carriers. I see them here. And I'll text them if I need something, but if I need to get things done that my admin can call in, be on hold, take care of those things, I don't have to stress out about that because she's taking care of it for me, and it opens up my mental capacity. So throughout my day, I'm not thinking about that requirement on that application from that one carrier. I'm not thinking about changing the bank information for that client and getting a DocuSign. I don't have to do any of that stuff. So that not only am I buying back my time on that, but I'm also buying my mental capacity, my thoughts in my head. I'm able to focus on helping Kendall Brown in the field, or Tim Bird getting an underwriting question done for his client that he's sitting in front of. So I've shifted where I'm focusing my day and that time, and it's helped me out a ton. So this is how my week goes. So every single week, I'm getting leads. That's right, John Davis. Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Bang, bang, shoot 'em up. Let's go. So I get bang bangs every single week. As I'm doing my dial session, what I do is, I'm setting up my appointments, right? I get 8 to 10 appointments in a field day, right around there. So each appointment I set up, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, I'm putting 3 to 4 door knocks in there. So I put it in my schedule as a DK, and as I'm making my dials, I do everything on my computer digital. You guys have maybe heard, I don't print my leads necessarily. I just, I kind of vet them and go and sit down with them and help them out. But as I'm doing that dial, before I call them, I do a Control-C, I copy the address on the Bang Bang lead. So I got the Bang Bang portal up here, I got Google Maps here, and then my calendar here. I copy and paste that address, throw it in Google Maps. I'm making sure that it's a real address. Because who's got an internet lead, gone to the house that you thought it was, and it was an apartment building, and you have no idea how to get in? Or it's an empty lot, or it's a Chick-fil-A, or a hotel. One little plug I'm gonna put in on that is when I'm doing my dials, if I have an address that just makes no sense, I will confirm the zip code on there. Say, hey, you're still living in 60565, right? And they go, yeah. I go, what's your updated address? And they'll tell you. It's so weird how it works, but I know that's been super effective for me when I'm doing dials. So I get all these DKs in my calendar. I verify all those addresses. So what that does for me in the field, so I go out, I get a no-show. I don't care. I'm wiping this off, right? Person told me to go get off their porch. Whatever, dude, no worries. You know how many other opportunities I have for the rest of my day? I'm thinking that the entire time, so I don't let any of that stuff worry me. So if I get that no-show, I've got 3 or 4 other door knocks already verified. I know that it's a real address, it's a knockable door, so that I can just go straight to it. So what that does for me, that takes me from doing, the average 90 minutes a day in front of customers. How much time do you think I spend in front of customers? It's the law of probability. If you're spending twice as much time in front of customers, which is going to make you the most amount of money when you're in the field doing sales, the probability of your income is going to increase. That's right. So think about that when you're out. So I'm going to talk to you kind of in this last part, my transition into the home and then my opener to the appointment. Because I'm sure some of you guys have used that script for Bang Bang Leads that I've used a bunch of times, right? Cool. It's been used by a lot of people, and I get, appreciation for it, so I appreciate all you guys, and I love hearing the stories that it's working out for you. And I love that you guys can set up the appointments, but are you getting into the appointments, or are you making the sale? Because I know I've had some of those obstacles before too. So it's funny, like all the body language stuff, the stuff I'm telling you that I'm saying, and all the door knocking things, it's like, you're going to start doing some of these things, and you're going to sit down with people, and sometimes they're going to have no idea why you're there, right? And if you're brand new, like, you might not have any idea either. But that's okay. That's why you have, your growing up line that you can phone from the home and get help. One of the 4 basics. Pick up the phone or pick up a check, right? So let's say I'm in front of that door. All the body language stuff is good. They say, yeah, come on in. I got the smile going through. Great. How long have you been living here? One of the simplest things you can ask someone. How long have you been living here? 10 years. Okay, cool. Where's the hometown? Oh, it's over here. Okay. Yeah, I grew up, southwest burbs of Chicago, like, Naperville, Aurora area. I was living in the city for 17 years, North End Rogers Park. And then my wife and I, when we got married, we moved to the South Loop. And then once we found out baby number 2 was coming, that's when we moved out of the city and got a place out in Plainfield, in the burbs. So as I'm like asking these questions and I'm building this rapport, like I'm also feeding in my information too. I'm just not interrogating them the entire time, right? You have to be able to build a relationship with them. So I'm figuring out how many kids do they have? And then I tell them how many I grew up with. I'm one of 5. Older brother, older sister, 2 younger sisters. And then I'll ask, so where do your kids live? Are they still local? Are they spread out? And then I'll ask about the grandkids. Now, I don't ask about all the grandkids. Probably the most favorite thing for a grandparent is to talk about their grandkids, right? They like their kids, they love their grandkids. I ask about the youngest one, because that's the most fresh. They love them. And I also ask about the oldest one. 2 reasons I do that. One, the youngest one, I can relate with my kids, and it's very easy to create a better bond. But then the oldest one, so I can try to recruit them. Because most of the time, like the older one is maybe in their 20s, 30s, maybe around there, and maybe they're finishing up school, and they might be because they'll tell you what's going on in their life. And you might say, oh, wow, he graduated from school. Okay, cool. Like, what's he doing for work? Oh, okay, yeah, he's going on that ERS. Like, I'm already building that ERS. He's going on there. But I'm also going to talk to him about working with us, because we need the help. Another one of the basics, recruit from across the table. So I'm getting these questions answered. I'm getting to learn a little bit more about them. And then you get to that tipping point in the conversation, right? Where, kind of like what I was saying, they're looking at you. They don't know why you're there. You've been in some homes now you're starting to know why you're there too. And this is what I say, and I kind of step into it, and I don't let them ask. I go, so what we're going to do this afternoon, John, we're going to get through a little bit of info together. We're going to see if any of the programs that we do make sense. And if they do, we'll see if you get approved. Now, there's a few different reasons why people do sit down with me. Some of the top reasons are, God forbid something happens to you. You get a heart attack, a stroke, cancer. You go to the hospital, bills pile up, or simply just don't wake up. tomorrow. Someone's gonna have that pretty big bill, right? Right. Other reasons people sit down with me is when they want to make sure they're maximizing, their health benefits, or simply just want to make sure they're leaving enough behind for the family when that time comes. So let me ask you this, John. Do you have any type of burial or life insurance policy in force? Let's go best case scenario. No. I go, wow. Okay. So God forbid something happens, you don't wake up tomorrow, who's going to be the one taking care of everything? My kids. Which kids? The ones that live up in Chicago and you're down here in Orlando? The kids that have those 4 grandbabies that you were talking to me about a few minutes ago? It's not just about funeral costs anymore. They're going to have to fly, take off work, daycare, all that stuff. Doesn't matter, I'm sure, whatever situation financially your kids are in, you never want to put that burden on them when you and I can prep something today. And I think that's the main reason that you and I are talking here today, right? And they go, yeah. So I'm going to get through a little bit more info on me. I'm going to get through a little bit of info on you. We're going to see if anything makes sense. That's how I transition into the ATM. So today, guys, I hope I gave you some nuggets that will give you some courage to overcome that fear of the door, because activity is going to always cure that fear. And I'm really so grateful to be able to have the opportunity to serve you guys today. And one last thing. Opportunity doesn't knock. You knock, and opportunity answers. My name is Mike Morice. Let's grow.